Hi, this is Tanmay Shah.
This is Laura Ginberga, and you're listening to Rocklaz Radio.
On today's talk show, we have our beautiful host Laura, who herself has been a fashion model, in discussion with a supermodel and chef, Anastasia Khozissova.
Anastasia Khozissova, best known as a face of Ralph Lauren for several years, where she worked alongside the company founder and designer Ralph Lauren himself in the fashion group's headquarters in New York. She cultivated a close relationship with the brand and walked in every one of the label's shows until 2015. She has also appeared in numerous Ralph Lauren campaigns and editorial shoots. She has additionally fronted campaigns for Valentino, Chanel, Karl Lagerfeld, Vivienne Westwood, Ferré, and so on. From modest beginnings in Saratov, Russia, the trilingual model and life coach has demonstrated immense determination to reach the top of her profession. She made her modeling debut on Giorgio Armani runway in Milan and soon after was shot by Steven Meisel for September cover on Italian Vogue. Wow. During the course of her career, she has been on the covers of Vogue, Italia, France, Russia, Japan, and Germany, W, Harper's Bazaar, ID, Elle, France and Italy, V Magazine, and L'Officiel, France and Russia. She has since gone on to walk countless international runway shows for the world's leading luxury fashion houses, including Chanel, Prada, Dior, Alexander McQueen, Dolce & Gabbana, and so on and so on. Her industry success attracted the producers from CNN too, whom keen to turn her multi-part online video series for the website Modelina.com, dubbed High Heel Bootcamp into a TV segment featuring Alina Cho. In conjunction with her agency, Anastasia also helped establish a school in order to coach few model faces. She's a certified health coach, and she also creates personalized and individual programs using such data as allergy and blood tests, recommendations from doctor to bring the best result and achieve healthy lifestyle and shape. She's also a private chef. And welcome, Anastasia Khozissova from Moscow, currently from Moscow.
Hello again. Wow, it's very interesting when you've done a lot of things, but then you hear about yourself like a list of things, and it keep going. You're thinking, oh my God, did I really do all that? Have I ever done all that? So yeah, thank you for having me, guys. Super excited. I guess it's my first interview on Clubhouse. International wise. And yes, I'm in Moscow, and it's snowing again, and quite cold and beautiful.
But listen, as we start, I wanted to ask you, how has your day been so far, apart snowing and being very cold?
Well, it started earlier. I had a calls already from New York in the morning. Then I continue my day, obviously, coaching my clients and working on certain menus and recipes all day. Then, of course, I got a little bit ready I was trying to get ready for interview, but then I said, okay, let it go with the flow. As I always do, and obviously preparing already some work for tomorrow, because tomorrow I have some clients as well with who I have to talk and work, and so basically it's been all day busy. Very busy. Yes, very busy. Also checking on my friends, because obviously situation right now is not so amusing for some people, for a lot of people, I would say. So cheering them up, trying to give some healthy suggestions to keep yourself healthy and happy and smiley. That's what we need. Happy and smiley. Yes.
Exactly. And tell me, how do you, what is your morning routine? Do you have any routine? Do you exercise in the morning? Do you drink coffee?
It all depends. I would not lie. I do drink sometimes coffee, but I do sometimes coffee days, but I do a lot of also coffee detox, let's say, with no coffee. So in some days, yes, and some days, no. Most of my routine obviously include always a juice, a green juice, and green power. It's the blend which I create and made in Japan. Right now it's not available, so don't ask for it. With shipping situations and customs right now, it's become a little bit too difficult. So we stopped for now, but we're hoping to come back to it. It's an amazing one, and I have an excellent response on that product. It's made with organic, with all certifications, FDA approval, and all the beautiful nutritions from it. So I'm having that every morning with water. And then I have my juice, obviously not on empty stomach. I do have food, and then I have my juice. Food, it depends what I feel like, but mostly it's oatmeal, raw oatmeal, or some fruits, or if I feel that I need a little bit more powerful morning because I have a full day and I will be not having enough time to prepare big meal for lunch. I do have a protein breakfast, which means I do have eggs or with avocado and greens. Always greens. Always in every of my food, I always include greens. That's number one thing. So anything green you have, just put on your plate. And then either it could be also a soup full of veggies. It could be a slice of roast beef, with veggies and greens. So I don't have that kind of preference that, in the morning you have to have or croissant or a smoothie, or I can have a full big meal in the morning, the same as lunch, so I don't have a divide, so breakfast has to be this way and lunch should be this way. No, I don't have that. But it's all individual. Obviously, I create the programs for myself because I've learned to listen to my body. I've learned to understand my body. I do constantly a checkup on myself to see what I'm missing, any vitamins, especially in a cold time in Russia when we have no sun. You need to be careful with vitamin D, and see what you're missing. So you need to include more food which has shortened macro and micronutrients, as well as I try to use local products and seasonal products, which is also very important because obviously to have not local products is hard because they've been transferred through many ways and containers, and God knows what was in these containers and before. So it could be a little bit complicated,
I understand, and I absolutely agree about kasha.
Kasha. Kasha, naša все. Yeah, but
Yes.
kasha could be different. For example, I am lactose intolerant, and I know a lot of people lactose intolerant. And kasha in Russia, traditional kasha in Russia, is very heavy. It's a milk, it's a butter, it's like could be sugar as well. So it's very, the old way.
Yeah.
So let's say to make it a little bit more easier, you can use oat milk or almond milk, which I prefer make it myself at home. I don't find very good almond milk in Russia.
Doesn't it take a lot of time to prepare almond milk yourself?
No, it's 5 minutes.
Oh. Okay, you're gonna send me the recipe too.
I can tell you right now. You soak the almond for a night, then you take them out in the morning, you rinse them, you put in your blender, add filtered water, blend everything on high speed, take a nut bag, put it through the whole consistence, basically, and go get a squeeze. There is the milk.
Oh wow, it's not complicated actually. Everyone can do it.
It's not complicated at all, and that's what we're saying. A lot of time, people thinking that healthy, well, at least in Russia, okay. So let's say in Russia, that healthy is not yummy. Healthy is complicated. Healthy is boring. Healthy is no way of living, you know. Well, it's not like that actually, because healthy doesn't mean it's vegan. It doesn't mean it's proteins only. It doesn't mean certain directions. Healthy, it's something else. It's not just about food. It's about lifestyle. It's about mind. It's about thoughts. It's about visuals, you know, around you. You know, so whatever you see, because a lot of people, they're visuals, intellects. And it's about people you are around, people you connect with. So it's all about, to me at least, healthy. That's how I see healthy, right? And that's what health coach do. That's what I do. As of now, you know, I create and help people achieve healthy when they want it,
Right.
in shorter way.
Yeah.
Because of course you can achieve that, but you will. There's a lot of information in Google. You go on Google and you start looking at it. And
It's confusing.
And it's so confusing, and there's so many things, and you don't know which right, which not. And how do you actually check this information? Is it clear? Is it correct? Is it the real one? Oh, you see, we have a little bit of a. Woo.
That's not bad. London is like every 5 minutes.
You know, I like it because it reminds me of New York. In New York, it's constantly.
Honestly,
I find Moscow very quiet compared to New York. So back to that creation. You create what I do help the people to achieve that
Anastasia,
direction.
Sorry, I will interrupt you. We will go to your coaching and all the details, but I would like to now stick to your modeling as we started, like super, you know, like timeline. Your timeline was you started as a model. And so how did you really start as a model? Were you scouted? Where were you scouted? In Moscow? In Saratov?
Yes, I was scouted in Moscow. Or not in Moscow, in Saratov. Actually, I was there in agency and scouted.
So you wanted to become a model because you were already in an agency?
Yes, I was actually in modeling school. I started modeling school while I was in school, in high school. That's how they say, I think, in English. Наша школа 11 классов, да?
Yeah. High school, yeah.
High school. So I started, a friend of mine, I was very skinny. I was super skinny compared to...
Oh my God, you are still in perfect shape, and I would rather call you skinny. I mean, me and Anastasia, we met last year in Milan, and I can tell you she is the skinny type. I can tell you that.
Not really. If you knew my history or family history, or if you knew my genetics tests, they're all saying that I have a very high risk of obesity. And whatever you see, actually, I think it's some kind of... it's a work. Well, I was very skinny when I was very young, like when I was 14, 15, 16. You know, I was very... I didn't feel very pretty because everybody was more, let's say, sexually growing up. And I was very skinny, very, very tall, very skinny. I felt a little bit weird. And friend of mine, she was like, she was collecting Beatles, all the disc records of Beatles. It was very rare to find because, I grew up in Sovietic time. And we were listening at her house always the Beatles because it was cool, to listen to Beatles. And she was saying, I read in the newspaper that there is a modeling agency and they have a casting, and you can, and it's your measures. So whatever measures was my measures. So it was a very funny story, by the way. So that time, my pretty vision of me was that I need to have a boob. So I bought bra. And I put a lot of vata, не знаю как сказать.
The cotton.
The cotton. So I put a lot of cotton in a bra, pretended that I have a breast, because I didn't have any breast. And I put red lips on because I thought it was, fashion. It was a statement. They will see me. I stole from my mom green eyeliners, and I had the whole eyes green. So imagine red, green, those fake boobs. Those fake boobs. And it was very popular in that time. It was 90s, and it was very popular at that time. Those bodies from China, they were like transparent, kind of ажурные такие, знаешь, такие гипюровые.
Yeah.
Kind of like black but transparent. So I have images. Okay, that bra, long hair, me with that body. I had the pants. Long pants.
and maybe the plateau shoes with high plateau?
No, not high plateau shoes. I had normal shoes because I had no high heels. I didn't know how to walk on high heels. I had normal sandals. Those green eyes, basically, so, and lips was very big because I thought my lips is not enough big. So I put the red all over, over the contour, very, when
Kardashian
we did Dior,
style a little bit.
Kardashian style, but when we did Dior, and Pat McGrath did us with those lips, it reminds me of me first time going to that casting. So I walk in like that, and they look at me, and there's like a lady, about 50s, 55, and she looked at me like old school lady, and she looked at me, and she had this glasses, and I feel like her glasses, goes on top of her head, because she was like, what the
What's this circus?
What is that? So yeah, so I said,
but you got it.
Casting. No, I didn't.
All this effort.
No, it's not finished. I didn't. They sent me and they said, okay, sorry, this is not for you. So I'm walking out super pissed off because I was sure I get it. Like I'm me. I want to be a model. I'm gonna get it. And I see the guy smoking cigarette, and 90s it's very dangerous time. You have to understand. 90s in Russia, there were no police, no rules. It was like either you in some kind of gang or not. It's very particular growing up in 90s in Russia. And so this guy looked at me and goes, come here. And I said, what? And he goes, come at 5 o'clock to this address. And I'm realizing that's a house, this apartment. And I'm thinking, oh my God, they're going to steal me and send it to...
Human trafficking
or something like that. But I don't know why, and here is something I want to say. I wasn't scared. It's very important. Remember this now. I wasn't scared. So I called my friend from, this taxophone, like from the street. And I said, because we didn't have mobile phones. We didn't have mobile phones. And I said, if I don't call you in 2 hours, I'm on this address. I've been sent to human trafficking, call police, try to, help me out.
And that's how the movie Taken was made, yeah?
Yeah, and that's how I going in. And the girl is opening, and she's nice. And I'm like, okay. And this guy coming in, he goes, go to the bathroom. And I'm like, why? He goes, go wash your face. And, I forgot I had this hair with the sugar because, this big hair with the sugar, because we had a nose spray. It was very expensive. So we used sugar water in order to hair to stay up. And he goes, wash your hair. Take a shower. Like, wash yourself. And then I walk in and he goes, and now remember, never, ever, ever put the makeup on. You're beautiful.
Oh my God. That's a story.
And yes, and then I started working, and in that because I had to pay for that school, I had no money, so I was working as a courier and on the market selling the shoes. So I had 2 jobs, and I also studied in my school and in the school of modeling. But I never finished it. They sent me. They told me that I'm not. I fight with somebody else. I was very stubborn. And they kind of sent me away, but at the time already they saw me, so they sent me to Italy. Basically, I'm the only one from that school actually become a model.
Wow, congratulations.
In a big way. There were a lot of girls, but in talking about in world. And thanks to that guy, Alexander, his name, who actually saw in me that power, to be, because otherwise
to become just a top model, yeah.
And yes, and thank you for and thanks to me not be scared, because if I would be scared, I would probably not achieved a lot of things.
Wow. Anastasia, a big moment here. Ты можешь поставить нас как модераторов? Просто
да, прошу прощения, как я это сделаю? Я случайно, да,
нажми на наши профили.
Так.
Make it moderated.
Okay, hold on a second.
Excuse us, we are just in the middle of.
Okay, so I made it both of
Fantastic,
you. Okay.
Fantastic.
Oh, so sorry.
So, and I know that you booked the first serious international job you booked in Milan, right? You were sent to Milan, and so you worked in Milan. It was your first foreign country as a model.
Yeah. Italy was become my second home. Yeah.
For how long did you live in Milan?
Wow, I came in Milan in 1997. And I've been living there for 5, 6 years, but I always been traveling, as a model, you can't be in one place. You always go to Paris, New York, London, you're always traveling, in different places, different city, Germany, you always have shootings, this and that. So basically, yes, I've been living in Milan. I was based in Milan for 6 years. Then I moved to New York. And then I come back again to Milan. I've been based, and now I'm between Milan and Moscow. So,
how long did you live in New York?
A long time, 13, 14 years, something like that.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's longer than Milan.
Yeah. New York became my third hometown.
And
yes, I also lived in Paris for 2 years, I think.
So how many countries have you lived in? Have you counted ever?
I never actually thought about that. Well, I mean, if you're talking yearly, I think...
No, as in even months, if you lived there a couple of months.
Oh, months, many. I lived in Japan, I lived in France, I lived in Germany, I lived in Italy, I lived in Russia, I lived in US, I lived in Mexico.
How many languages do you speak with all that?
Well, officially 3. Italian, Russian, English.
But unofficially,
but my English is getting now, Well,
it's
perfect. I understand a bit of French, I mean, it depends. If I go to the, I guess I'm good. I can say I can be good with the languages, because if I also lived in Thailand. Forgot about that. When I go to the country, I like to go to the country not as a tourist. I like to go to the country to learn about the country, to learn about culture, to learn about people. And in order to learn about them, you need to speak with them their own language. How do I understand that? Again, come back in 1997 when I came to Milan and I thought, okay, I'm Russian. Why do I have to learn languages? I didn't speak any languages. apart Russian. And I said, I'm not going to learn languages because everybody have to speak Russian. Why do I have to speak, Italian? Why do I am a superstar. I came from Russia. I was very particular girl. I guess still I am. But, in 1 month, I realized that nobody come to me, nobody talk to me because they can't talk to me, and I can't learn anything, and I can't get anything, and I can't get the job. I can't do anything without language. So I realized it was a good realization that it's like a first lesson in life, that in order to understand people, you better speak their own language, or at least the language which you can communicate, So I try to learn languages or something, at least a little bit, wherever I go. And I'm easy with it, I can catch up very quickly on the basics.
Agreed. I totally agree. And it's also the curiosity, because language includes culture, customs, cuisine, like history, so many things. And it connects you with that nation. Tell me, please, I know because I have been a model myself, and I know you have to have some rules. There has to be a routine, a healthy routine, but there have to be also rules where you think of your mental health, because it is very competitive business. Tell me if you have any rules while you were still young, and you started so young. You were 18, right? So did you establish...
No, I started when I was 15.
15, sorry. So did you have at that time, or you developed with the time once you traveled and learned other countries? I know Italy is very conservative, and when was the moment when you introduced any rules? Do you still keep them? What are these rules? Can you share that a little bit more?
I wouldn't say rules. It's
principles.
It's fashion. You have to understand, fashion is something else. In my time, perhaps it could be also now, but fashion, it's a dream world in which a lot of people want to be, and it's a dream with some reality, but reality is very different, and the world is very different. So when you're in the fashion and you live in that dream, you kind of sometimes do not live real life, because you don't do basic things. I don't know, at one point I never used to go pay my bills because I had people to do that, and I had an agent to do this, and I had always, different. And then when I stopped, I had to do everything by myself, and I realized, oh my God, how do I do this? And it was like, I had to adapt to a real life. Okay, so it's very different. Of course, the rules. I don't have. I never had rules. I had intuition. That's something else. And I had taking at one point this dream as a business, and that's something else. Dream and business. Because
what age would you say it became a business?
When I lost everything, when I first lost everything. So I think in age 24, yeah. When my agency got closed and took all our money. And that's when you're realizing that you are, you need to be more in control of, don't let other people to control things, and be more on control of your finance, or where you invest your finance, learn about that, be maybe less trustworthy, and stop surrounding yourself with the people who are not your really friends. So it was a first big wake up which I'm super thankful. You know, like you had a question here about what do I regret, right? What's the worst in my business and fashion was. I don't have anything to regret. I think whatever it's been happening to me or whatever I went through, hard or not, it's who I am right now and what I can give and what I can say. And yes, I can teach, I still consult a lot of girls or their moms in order to make sure be careful with the contracts, make sure be careful, read your things, make sure you're careful with where do you do pictures and with whom you do the pictures. It's very popular now, photographers, you do the pictures and God knows those pictures where end up after. So it's very important to know those rules. It's important to specifically now it's super easy. There's everything online. You can find a lot of contracts and things and understanding. It's important to have a relation with your agents. It's important to be thankful to your agents because they work with you and they work for you. So it's important that you're not working for agency. Agency work for you. You pay them percentage, which is everybody forgetting all the time and thinking that
True.
Models work for the agency. Not really. You signing the contract, which you actually giving them percentage for them to find you a job. So that's kind of a business structures which I've learned in my 24 years, and I've been the one who I never had a mother agency. I always choose my agencies. I choose the agency which I want to be, and I look at and first I would look at their financial system, how fast they pay, how fast they get the job, and how fast they pay if the client didn't pay. Because that's another thing. If the client didn't pay, what agency will do? Will they go after the client, or they say, oh, that's okay? It's very important too, because that's the job of the agency to get the money. That's why you pay high percentage.
Absolutely. And did this happen, the bankruptcy of the agency, did this happen in Italy?
Yeah, of course. What else could happen?
Typical. I mean, typical. It happened to me too,
Perhaps we've been in the same agency.
I'm not sure because they change every year. Well, not every year.
Okay, so no. That agency was actually very good, and I was surprised because it was fantastic agency. We had such a good time, and the most models. It's all top models were there, and we all got kind of in that disaster situation, and it was absolutely no one would expect such thing from that particular agency because I had high agents, which is the highly rated agents. It was a great ownership. It was fantastic billing. I remember basically 90% of the girls who was doing the shows was from my agency. So we had like a turnover of, if I calculate how much money were there, it's just insane.
Basically, your agency was supplying the fashion show package for the design?
No, not really, because we all been very big girls. We all been there. All the tops were there. All the tops at the time were in this agency. They had all the top girls. So it's not packaging. You can't say, oh, we give you, I don't know, Anastasia and then 10 girls who works just the beginners or they're starting or something like that, right? No, it was like... you go and you see, Avery Cabono, you see the Giselle, you see them and all the different people, So it's always been a very good cast, because at that time we always worked the same. So if you go, it was funny because I thought sometimes, I never went to university. I had no chance. I started working very early, then I had no time. Then I kind of thought, oh my God, 4 years in university, 5, I will never able to do. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe it's not the time yet, and then and so on and so on. And then you have to be in one place to go to university for 5 years. And I never in one place, pretty much apart New York, but in New York I was working 24 hours as well. I never had my own time. So, but the traveling with the girls, because we've always been the same girls, going to the shows, we start from Spain, then we go to London, then we go to New York, then we go to Milan, and then we finish in Paris. So it's a 5 fashion weeks, which you with the same people constantly. And each season like that. So you feel like you're in kind of university, high school, I don't know, and you miss, and you have already like, and you go out together and you eat together and you get sick together. I remember we all get sick. If one gets sick, everybody gets sick. That's normal, it's like...
You touched a very good point, that 5 weeks of traveling and doing fashion shows, and with during pandemic, like so many companies and so many people and magazines raise the question, is it really necessary? Do you think it's sustainable? Do you think the world actually needs 5 weeks of fashion shows?
I don't think about that right now. I believe that whatever is now happening is slightly different. We all become digital. That time, remember again, we had no digital. The internet just was starting. We just had a Vogue.com, and there were only magazines. And magazines were cool. And I still love magazines. I read magazines.
Me too.
I like to have magazine in my hands. I like to go have my juice and have a magazine. I enjoy that. I understand it's a digital world and there's a new generation and people more in digital and things like that. But we didn't have. I had a telephone which was black and white. And big. And so the only way is to go see the collections, and it was all in secret. You can't even realize what it's going to be. I remember for Dior during Galliano time, we didn't even do the fittings. We didn't know what's going to be. Nobody knew.
You didn't do the fittings? What?
No.
What do you mean? What does it mean?
It means we didn't do the fittings because it always was the same girls, and we had our own corsets. And which means if you put the weight, whatever it is, they're going to tie you up, and even if you throw up, I don't care, you have to fit in it. And we only fit the shoes to make sure they fit, because the shoes was always complicated. It was super high. It was one of the highest high heels, and was super, not easy to walk. And I know there was cases when a couple of girls fell down and broke their leg or arm or something like that. And it happens, but we never saw the collection. I mean, it was always surprise. And that's what's excitement. That's what's excitement. And it was always the show. I was the show. You go in, and to be part of that, it was absolutely amazing, because the team and backstage, everything, organization, the spirit, the beauty of the clothes was just astonishing. I mean,
yes, I agree. And I love fashion because fashion is a form of art. But here's the thing, do the world actually needs the same models travel across different countries? And so there is the emissions, the airplane emissions, then...
Well, now nobody travels, so I guess that's not happening.
That's not happening. But the question comes now, because nobody can travel, or nobody could travel 2 years ago. So the question is, do we really need so many shows? Do you buy fast fashion yourself, or do you prefer slow fashion?
I buy vintage.
So perfect. You see, I
buy vintage, and I buy sometimes some fashion too. But the thing is that as a model, I've never really. I bought clothes, but it's something else. Since we knew, you have to understand, we see the clothes, which we will be the first one to see the future. Okay? So when you do the fitting, you see the collection of spring 2022, right? Which is coming up. It's not there yet. And the only way people would able to see that, either in magazines, some pieces, either on one side on Runway, on Vogue, but mostly it's in magazines. But you can't see the full collection.
Yes, but that was in the past. Now we are in 2022 and
Yes, exactly.
the world
Now
is evolving
everybody
so
can see
quickly.
everything, and now there is a system which is see now by now, which is also becoming perhaps a popular system that you're showing now and you're buying now. Well, it's a fast fashion, I guess. Yes. Some people work, some people like that, some people don't. Do we need the models? I can't say to you, I can't answer that question. You know, is it
No,
time?
no,
Do we
no,
need
no, no.
dresses? Do we
No.
need the new dresses? Do we need
Sorry,
the new?
no. My question wasn't about do we need models, but do
You
we
mean
actually
travel around the same
the
models?
same models travel around, and do we actually need all entire 5 weeks of that multiple times per year?
Well, do we have many designers, and we have many countries, and we have designers live in different countries,
But
and they have their own statements.
if you take the models, and I'm sure Paris
You have to
produces so
understand,
many
it's not
models.
easy to be able to, you know, there is a fashion week, New York Fashion Week, there is Milan Fashion Week, there's Paris Fashion Week, you know, Madrid Fashion Week,
London.
Barcelona, London Fashion Week. And it's already hard enough to put collection together and actually has a finance. You have to look at this as perspective of finance always. And financially support to be able to actually put the show together, right? Because you need to have or good financial background, or you need the sponsors, or you need something, because otherwise it's a lot of money. Even if the models will, your friends, and they will do show for free or for the clothes, which happens to be New York, and that's where it started first, when the models start giving young, talented designers for free, you know, their time and to show for and get clothes in back. That was starting in New York. Still you need production money, you know, for production, you know, you need for the stage, for the light, for the people, for security, for this, for that, for a lot of different things. So it's already hard enough to find this in your own country. Imagine to move it everything to do in some other country.
Got it. You touched very good point. Once your agency in Milan bankrupted, you said
Yes.
you have to learn how to invest.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain this a little bit more? How did you learn how to invest? What did you invest in? What would you recommend to other models?
Well, I mean, you know, I'm in my way. I'm old school. I'm investing in things which I can touch.
So not NFTs.
Not
Just
NFTs. Not in crypto, not in Bitcoin, even if I was proposed to do that when it was $30 in New York, and people come to me and they're like, Bitcoin. I was like, what? Go away. Not in marijuana, not in everything like that. I like to buy, I like house. I like apartments. I like something which I can touch, something which grow as investment, and something which I can sell quite fast if I need it.
Correct. What is your best memory as a fashion model?
Oh, there's so many. I mean, I think everything is one of the best memories, because be able to work with such legends and designers, and I mean, we lost Andrea Leontalia today, and may he rest in peace. And he was fantastic, an amazing person, and I think he was one of mostly the only one from the Vogue family who actually really loved me, on my opinion, and really liked, and always say hello, and always been smiley and positive, and he had this energy which was quite amazing. I can't even translate it. Thinking about it, it's just warm, beautiful energy. And he was absolutely one of the talented people I know. I mean, Fiore, fantastic man, which not many people talk about and doesn't remember his job, but I can see his work in many young designers right now in the big houses who saying, oh, I just invent something. Well, no, that was Fiore.
Sorry, it was Ferre.
Sorry.
Sit down.
There is a lot of, Galliano, fantastic, and Steven, who also passed away apparently long time ago as well, and McQueen, and there is
So many
countless amount
geniuses.
of people with who I can say that there was absolutely blessed and honor to meet and be able to work and to be able to touch, them, and I think you realizing now that more with age and with going through understanding and appreciating life at that time, because that time it was fast and always in a run, always a lot of things happening. We had sometimes 10, 15 castings, 10 fittings, you work from 5 o'clock in the morning until like 2 o'clock at night, and then you have 1 hour of sleep, then you go again. And it wasn't easy, so sometimes obviously you probably not paying attention to certain things, which is normal, you're human. But better looking back now, I'm remembering a lot of things with a big smile, and the bad moments, let's say, they
Right.
are.
So I
forgive them.
I was just about to ask about, as we spoke about the best moments, I would ask you, what is the worst moment? And if you don't have one, if you have ever had a situation.
Of course, we had a situations. Of course, we had a moment, and it's a separate conversation. I don't think so. We have enough time for that, and I have a view on that as well. But we all make choice, so stick to it.
So you had a harassment situation.
Yeah, of course, like everyone.
Was it regular in those times?
I'm a pretty girl. It's normal. Everybody.
Was it in Milan?
It's also what you can call harassment. That time it was just, he's an asshole.
It was a culture, right?
We were not considering this as harassment. We were considering, he's an asshole, go away. That's it. You say no and you go whatever. I don't know.
Was it in all over the world, or was it somewhere in particular?
I don't know. I had a few moments which try and to be kind of particularly harassment, and you turn around, you just say no, and you say, okay, either we're going to be friends, either you can go do whatever you do yourself, and that's it. I was very, I don't know. I was very direct. I never really settle for less. I don't know. And I had my moral standards. I grew up in a certain family, and I have my moral standards. Very, very strong moral standards. Don't steal, don't lie, don't be nice to older people, take care of others, Of course, I could be sometimes maybe rude, and probably during the fashion show, you have 2 seconds to undress and to be dressed. And of course, you don't have time. May you please give me the shoes? You say, give me the shoes. Give me that. And might sound like I was rude, but I was not. I was just doing my job.
So basically, if you would have to tell other women how to avoid such situations, you would just say, stick to your principles and keep your head high.
It's hard. It's hard to say what you should do, because, the girls in different situations, they have certain age, okay? I was already, when I came to those situations, I was already, quite on my feet, okay? I was not financially or morally or something, dependent on anybody. So sometimes some people are morally not strong enough, and some people using that, like I've been used in the same situation with my marriage, right? And this is a different story. but I've learned from that, and I go more, and I said, then I've learned to say no. I don't know, how do you say it? It's you can't give advice on something like that, because it's each situation, it's very unique, and it's super sad when you hear those stories, and you hear those situations, and if I hear something like that from people I know, I obviously do something about that, call police, give a lawyer, suggest something, which is do something, take the girl out of the situation.
Of course.
But I think it depends on the person how, and you can't say. Of course, saying no is the biggest thing, but sometimes the situations happens when no doesn't help you out, and we know the situation in the world, and there's nothing you can do about it, because it happens, right? What you can do is that you can ask for support and help. That's for sure. And there's nothing to be ashamed of, and should be you should not hide or pretend that nothing happened. I think you should definitely right away ask for support, and look for help.
Yeah.
That's what I think it should be done, absolutely, because there is many places where you can get that help, and there's a lot of social media which also can help you.
So let's transition into next phase as health coach. So how did that happen?
Well, when I've decided to leave fashion, it was one day I wake up and I decided.
What age are we talking about right now?
Well, certain age.
just to give
a certain age, I've decided.
Just to give an understanding. Was it like 10 years ago, 15?
No. It was about like 6-7 years ago. So I've decided that I think I've done as much as I can.
So up until then, you were full-time model, and that's it. That's it. Okay,
yeah.
and then you. Well,
I did a project. I did consulting. I helped young designers. I did some projects for youths. I worked. I create some stuff there. One of my first projects was bring Russian designers to awareness, and I create project Youth Love Russia, Russian designers, and then I did some consulting on the side, as fashion, as models. I had a model school, at my agency. I teach young girls how to become a model, how to walk on high heels, because it's problematic. A lot of girls doesn't know how to do that. How to present yourself on a casting, because it's very important, because you have only 2 minutes to get the job, and you have hundreds of girls. So how do you get the job in those hundreds?
How do you get the job? Tell us.
Oh, that's the secret, That's my coaching. Sign up.
Sign up.
Individual coaching.
Sign up.
I'll tell you.
Sign up. I think there will be different places to sign up after this.
I can coach in many directions.
Yes, one for fashion, one for coaching, one for health. Exactly. Yeah. So you still coach young models?
Yeah, sometimes. A lot of them actually, a lot of times is also their moms, because their moms want their girls, the daughters, to be models, and they don't know how, and they ask for the agency, if this agency good, if this is good, if this is healthy, and how do I find this agency, and how do I do this? So a lot of times their mom's calling me.
Okay. So let's go into nutrition. 6-7 years ago, you decided somehow that you want to study nutrition. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What did you study and where?
Oh, I went to INN, Institute of Integrative Nutrition, where I get my health coach certification. That was my first. And then I start looking at, to the protocols and the ideas and the recipes, and I was like, oh my God, it's impossible to eat. That healthy was exactly my direction. I was like, oh my God, it's so boring and so unyummy. And I decided that, okay, I need to learn more about cooking, even if I always cooked and I always had guests in my house, because I love to cook. I went to study a little bit more, and I went Los Angeles, and I got my certification as a raw vegan chef at Matthew Kenny. And then I went to come back to Milan, and of course, where do you learn about food more? It's Italy. And I went to study in Joya Academy, which is also a GAS certification of a vegetarian chef, second level already. So basically, sorry, my doggy is running around. She's happy. So pretty much I was there. I start cooking. I start making recipes, learning about it, experimenting on my kitchen in Milan. And eventually I create then project, already then I create Project Life of the Model, where I was sharing all the information about health, about healthy recipes, about the products. I was going a lot to special markets with where the companies presents their products, healthy products. It was a very beginning. It was very interesting, and in different places in America, in Germany, and then eventually people came from Russia, and they say, we would like your book, that you write a book with recipes. So I wrote the book with recipes, and it was healthy, yummy, sweet recipes with no sugar.
And this is in Russian. The book is released in Russian.
The book is released in Russian, but it's sold out. And then...
Sorry. Congratulations.
I have nothing to sell. Oh my God. So now we're planning the second one. And on presentation, I mean, again, I think everything is whatever happens in life is connected. So when I did my presentation in Moscow, the marketing director of ASCO company came, and he saw me, and he came and he says, would you like to become our brand chef? And I said, oh my God, a chef, like proper? Because I was planning only do the recipes, create my blog, going to health coaching direction. And so like this, basically, I said, why not, let's try. So I started working with them, I become brand chef, and that's how I basically start learning how to actually cook for 50 people, for 100 people, and create recipes with specific techniques, learning more and doing master classes in a big audience, and so on and on. It's 3 years. I become their chef, basically, of ASCO company. I grow with that direction. And now, in meantime, I went to study again at international, at ANN, and I got my degree in hormonal hormones coaching, and then I got my degree on gut health coaching, which I just finished.
Wait, so let's count your degrees.
It's a few.
So is that how is it like? Is it bachelor? Is it?
I don't know, because I've never really understood the whole system. Before that I used to study a little bit in the US as well in the evening classes, but in the Fashion Institute, of Technology. I never really understood that system, what is like because I have the credits, right? They give us some credits and whatever, and it's American way. And I never understood that. And I don't really want to go there because, to be quite frankly, I am a person without university. Okay, well, here I am.
Yes, but at the same time, look, you have done so many courses, and not only in one country, you have done across continents, not only one continent.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, it's true, in many.
I think you should include that to your biography, definitely, because it's something to be proud of.
Well, the one I sent it to you is been done very long time ago. I had no time to update it, so yeah, I will
Yeah,
give my
your assistant will have some
my
work to do.
assistant. She has to update.
Sorry. I've
Okay.
heard of your assistant working hours. I'm sorry for her.
Poor girl. We have to clone her. Yes.
Good. Well
So
done.
yeah. So I constantly study. I read a lot of books. I try to be updated. Now I study in some Russian. I go to webinars. I read. Try to read a lot of information. Obviously, in short interactions, which I am focused on right now. But most I think I came to a realization is, as I said at the beginning, that health is not just about working out or eating right, that you think you're eating right. It's about a lot of things. It's about the way you're living, the way you're thinking, the way you approaching the world, the people around you, the community around you, the place you live, the food you eat, for sure, that's true. The what you
What do you
drink as
see?
well is important.
What do you see? Usually people make their resolutions for the next year, New Year, and we just celebrated the New Year. So how do
I
you
don't
see
think
how
so.
people
People.
stick
I
to
don't
their
think so. People.
resolutions?
Right now, it's quite an interesting time, I would say. What I've noticed, a realization that people has fear, which probably a long time ago, a few years ago, we didn't have a fear that much as it's now. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's fear about a lot of things, about this and that. I fear about going out, fear about staying, fear about your loved ones.
I do
All of
absolutely
this.
agree with you.
And fear, I think, it's mental. You come back to mental,
Continuous stress.
continuous stress. It's destroying us mentally. Fear. Fear is something which I think we all should start working on. That's what.
Okay, so this is
feel.
the movement of 2022. Stop your fear.
Well, I would say, yeah, manage your fear, turn it around. Nobody say you should not be cautious, right? It's something I understand on my opinion and what I see. As long as you don't fear, and you actually, again, remember, right? Looking back, everything what I've done, I had no fear. I had no. And what I see in a lot of people who achieve a lot of things, they had no fear. They just believe, and they had no fear to make mistake.
Absolutely.
Or something. Now we fear about everything, about making mistake, about doing this, about that, saying something, moving there, looking like someone or something. Health, fear again. So maybe we should a little bit stop that feeling. That I think is my direction with a lot of my clients who I'm coaching to work on.
Let's go to something very nice. Who is your favorite chef in the world?
You know the answer.
What? Is that yourself?
No. Well, I am my favorite chef, obviously. I just realized that I cook better than most of chefs.
See, I knew the answer. But apart of that, like, who do you regard as an icon?
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. I can't tell you like that right now. Let's keep that question and move on.
Okay. Well, I remember that when I was in Paris, I had the best lunch, and it wasn't the best lunch just because of the location, because location was neoclassical and it was served with white gloves, and I just remembered that fresh juice tasted as no other juice in my life I have ever drunk. And
Probably been slow juicing.
I mean, I don't know. And then there was this soup that was the best soup of my life, and I just cannot
It's because you
forget
didn't
these
eat my
moments.
food.
Maybe, but it was Alain Ducasse. It was Alain
Well, Alain
Ducasse.
Ducasse, of course. Alain Ducasse is an amazing chef, and I mean, we're talking about there is many world famous chefs which are
And
quite
I'm sorry
amazing.
to all my Italian listeners and everybody. I'm sorry for nominating a French chef. I know I will be in blacklist now.
Yeah, no, I mean there is many of those, of course, and you can't say one of their favorite, but I'm just saying. Today I came to realization that as much as I was always, I always go to the restaurants, and I always, used to, because I like to enjoy the food. I like to taste something new. I like to experience of the atmosphere. I like to socialize, have a good time, and obviously. When I travel, I always go research and try new places and new food and see new design and to something to inspire, because that's what I do. But the more I go, the more I'm realizing that there is nothing better for your health. Again, we're coming back to health, is that the homemade food. Nothing. And no one restaurant is as good, could be good for you as your home meal, which you prepare for yourself. Because you know your ingredients, you know where you got them, you're carefully choosing them, and most important, you know which oil you use, which sauce you use, what did you put in that sauce, because all scary parts, it's an oil, which they're using in the restaurants, and the sauces. And also the main prima materia, which means where this food come from. Fish, a simple example. It could be wild or could be farmed. Okay, so I prefer wild. I always ask in restaurants where is the fish from, and they're telling me, oh, it's salmon specifically. Oh, it's wild, and I know how the wild salmon look because I eat one. And it cannot cost a certain amount of money, because wild salmon in Europe is quite expensive, because you go fish market and you get a small piece of wild salmon, it could cost to 20 euros. So the dish cannot cost 10 euros. It's impossible.
What do you tell to people who don't like cooking?
Learn how to cook in order to be alive.
Very Russian attitude, I would say.
Yes. Very. Well, it's true. You know, I can go about and pampering you up in American way and say, oh, it's so nice. You could order there and do this and that. But the reality is not. The more you go and the more you look into the doctors and the more you listen doctors and the more you actually you listen to the nutritionists and dietologists, they're all saying that the home meal is one of the best things.
I agree.
You need to start learning how to cook. If you have at least 50-60% home meal in your diet, it's already a huge way to success, to healthy living.
Yeah. Tell me, what is your dream as a chef? Where do you want to go? How far do you want to go? What do you want to achieve?
Nowhere. I'm actually very comfortable where I am right now. Because I never, coming back to how everything started, I never really wanted to be a chef. Remember, I went to learn about how to cook in order to create my own protocols, which means to create recipes for my clients, yummy clients, to be able to make them happy while they're cooking, and not just because it's a boring food, or I have to eat this boring food. And when we're talking about the protocols, it's something like IEP, autoimmune protocol, gluten-free protocol, specific different diet, DASH diet, Mediterranean diet. So in order to be able to cook properly and has those all details, which it seems simply, but it's not, how to calculate, how to prepare your kitchen, how to keep your kitchen. So it's easy and simple to cook. So it's not like 2 hours you standing in front of your, I hate that too. I don't like to be 3 hours in front of the kitchen. No, I do my
Lose your time.
I don't lose the time. I remember I also live very fast life. And I live in a city where everything is moving. I'm not living in a city where everything is slow, which is very important also understand. It's very New York-like. So I understand that everyone is working, everyone is busy, and everyone has a very limited time for themselves. So what you do when you have that time? How do you spend it with the quality for yourself?
What is your to-go meal?
Fast one?
Just whenever you're hungry, what is the quickest and most popular in your own?
Very, very, very simply. It's any kind of veggies, which can be very quickly sauté. I always have veggies in the fridge, which are ready. I prepare my veggies so they are. I clean them and prepare them in the way that it's easy to put just them on. Forgot an English word. Сковородка. Oh.
On the pan.
Adela. On the pan. Simply so you can saute them very quickly with some spices, which actually I create now that you can buy, but not now. It's still we're working on the packaging.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. With some of the spices, very easy, and perhaps touch of oil, perhaps not, depends of whatever you like, and you can eat. And I love my salmon, my wild salmon or any wild fish fillet, which you just put on an oven on a steam. 15 minutes is ready.
Amazing.
While all this ready, it's super. And you put some greens on it, ready greens, dressing, olive oil, lemon. Here you go.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, it's super yummy. And if you have also riso integrale or some quinoa, it's even full meal, perfect one.
Do you have allergies or
No.
intolerances? Oh, so you're one of these lucky people.
No, I have lactose intolerance, yes, but I don't have allergies. I used to have them, but I cured them with my food and my diet.
Can you explain this a little bit more?
Well, basically, of course, we all has. I don't know, no one person who has nothing. We all have something, okay? Specifically with the age, at certain age, because of course of certain lifestyle before. I'm not always been super healthy, because sometimes I didn't have time to eat because during the fashion week, you don't eat what you cook, right? You eat what they give it to you to eat. So, and usually it's panini or something, some snacks or sandwiches, and sometimes you have no time to eat. So you're always hungry and you come home and you eat a big meal at night and go sleep, which is also not a right way to actually to eat. So sometimes you just has this life, and eventually your body starts saying, "Okay, I'm a bit tired. I'm not happy. I am very unhappy. I am happy. Help me, help me." And you start going to doctors and you start asking them questions, and they all saying, "Take your pills." And I'm the kind of person who don't really like the pills. I always was trying to find a way in different ways. So that's when I actually started already. Before I actually become health coach, I start learning about nutrition. I learn about different type of diet, learn about how can I cure myself or heal myself and make myself better, stronger, more energy, more younger looking, healthy skin, excellent hair and nails because I was working as a model, and also keep myself in the right weight because I was working as a fitting model and I couldn't put weight because I would come in the morning and they will be measuring me all the time and saying, "Oh, you put half an inch?" And you'll be like, "Oh my God."
Tell me more about this.
It's okay. Skip. Moving on. And so basically, yeah. So you learn about it with the time. And with the thing is that you have to understand the most important thing. Food is not a pill. Okay? So if you was not eating right or doing, certain lifestyle, smoking, drinking, whatever it is, not sleeping enough, stressful work, stress at your work and all the things which all cause that unhealthy lifestyle, eventually that comes to your body problems. And to be able to cure that is not, with natural way, is not 1 month, it's not 2 months, it's sometimes years. But if you stick to it, if you really stick to it and you're really going with it, and it's expensive, guys, it's expensive. You invest a lot of money in that. But you can cure certain things. You can definitely cure, and I know that for sure, and I know that for a fact, and I can see that in my clients. I can see their results, their blood tests in 4 or 5 months. We see already the results, and it's a miracle, and it's amazing. And you really start believing in power of nature. You believe in power of we are what we eat, in power that
Absolutely.
Of your mind, because it's all together. It's not just the food. Again, it's mind, your thoughts, your living, your approach to people, your approach to life. It's a life.
It's a life.
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. And if you want to change something, it's hard sometimes because, I didn't have a health coach, so I went to study, and that helped me to create my lifestyle. But it's not easy, specifically when you transition. Like I was transitioning from a big business. Basically, all my life I've been doing one job and one business, and then suddenly I realized that I want to do something else, but I don't know what I want to do. So I was like, okay, what do I want to do? Who I want to become? How do I going to live in this world? I don't know anything about it. I don't have a school. I mean, like a university. I don't even have a job. Basically, I have a job, but I don't have a job. I don't have a profession, right? It's not easy. You kind of get a little bit lost, and
of course,
and thinking, how do I go and translate to that? But I can tell you, everything is possible as long as you believe it, and as long as you find what you love. And I love to help.
Absolutely.
I love to help.
Absolutely.
I love to help people, and even if I help one person in this world, I will be super happy, because I know that I'm there for not just nothing. I'm here for that one person.
I think with this, you just announced that you have a mission and you want to help. You want to help people, and obviously you cannot help everybody, but you can help somebody.
That's true.
And
that's true.
That's a
but
statement.
Only those people who want my help, because you can't help somebody who's not ready and who doesn't want help, who doesn't ask for it.
Agreed.
I was one of this person. I've never asked for help. And I've learned in my life that you have to, when you really need to, you have to ask for help. And trust me, it's not bad. It's actually good. You will see how many people will be helping you with huge happiness.
Yes, I think it's a transition of the mindset. I don't have the problem of asking help, but I think in like a decade ago, I probably would have problem. But as we all keep working on ourselves continuously, I hope, then obviously we change. And just before we wrap up, I have a few more questions. Mm-hmm. I know you're very busy because obviously you are a chef, and you probably still do some of the fashion jobs occasionally, and you have your business to run. How do you spend your free time? What are your hobbies?
I cook.
No, we can't say this because that's your job.
Recipes. I create new food. I create new dishes. I create new tests. I don't know. You have to understand. My job is it's a blessing, I guess, because I do what I love, and I'm not I can't call myself a one single profession, right? I have many, and I'm an expert in many directions and businesses and lifestyles and cities and countries. So I'm a worldwide person who always works in her free time. Or I mean, it's like either I create projects with the friends, or either I create something, or I don't know. There is no such thing as a hobby. You know, I always wanted. I recently started thinking about this because everybody has a hobby and I don't. I was like, what is my hobby? I don't have a hobby. I don't know. Can cook be a hobby? Hobby? Cooking?
Yes, we can put that. Yeah,
Okay.
it's your life, it's your passion, it's your hobby, and it's everything. What would you tell to your 20-year-old self?
Why would I tell something my 20 years old self?
There's nothing you would recommend. You would.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
My 20 was fine. It was fun. Oh my God, it was
I don't
super
doubt
fun.
that.
I mean, I think it was fun and very fun. I remember now it was one of the fun time. Yeah.
What are your recent successes and achievements that you're particularly proud of?
Well, I'm proud of my clients. I'm proud of the achievements they do. I'm proud of what they, how they changing their lives, and not an easy time, I would say. I'm proud, I think, in that. When I see the results of my work and their work, because there will be no my work if they would not do the work, right? Because I can give just the key and information and show it and guide it, but I cannot do the job, the hardest things for them, right? So they do their all work. And when you see those results, it's quite amazing. It's quite amazing because you're realizing that, my God, you know, those 6 years which I've been going, learning, doing something again, doesn't know what, okay, am I a health coach, am I a chef, and then I realized, why couldn't I be both? You know, am I a model? Why can't I be model and a chef and a health coach and a lifestyle? Why not?
Tell me more about that.
You can be anything you want as long as you're good at it, you know. And it's okay to be such a person of many interests and many directions, as long as you don't lose yourself in those directions. That's very important to understand. You know, at one point I have to a little bit narrow down because I wanted to also design my own collection. And at one point I said, okay, maybe you should stop on that. It's okay. It's okay. Relax.
Slow down.
Relax. Slow down. Yeah, as long as you don't lose yourself in that, as long as you're realizing, but it's okay to try. It's okay to see, okay, I like this. This is good. I'm good at it. I like what I do, and do it with passion, and things will come. And it's not easy sometimes, of course, and everybody sometimes had to go in not an easy way, sometimes it's a more easy way, but as long as you believe and love what you do, keep going, just keep going.
Okay, so I know Tanmay has a couple of questions for you. Tanmay?
Okay.
Hi, it was lovely to hear you. I had a question from a person's perspective who is not in Europe or the West, or somebody who has aspirations to get in fashion but doesn't know the industry or what the job is or how to get in. Suppose from India or the East or Latin America, how would you tell about this business? What happens here, and how to get in, or is it just ramp walks and photographs for companies, or is there something more, or What can they expect and how can they get in?
I didn't really understand the question. First of all, is this person I mean, what is their interest? Are they interested in fashion? Fashion is big, and I always ask a question which you should ask yourself: what exactly you want to do with fashion? Because you can be a fashion stylist, you can be a fashion model, you can be a fashion photographer, you can be a fashion production, you can be a fashion editor, you can be fashion journalist. What exactly? I mean, fashion business is huge, and there's many divisions and jobs. So, what exactly this person want to do?
I was asking in general, if I
Well,
get more precise, for girls,
okay.
maybe girls who want to from India or some other place want to get into or do things which you two are doing. How can they get in? Because
Okay,
how
well,
can they approach people, or how with everything with technology coming in,
yeah,
have things changed?
yeah, well, I mean, the things change, of course, and technology is there, and there is a lot of way of getting. I mean, social media is helping a lot of people to get attentions or jobs or become known in fashion industry, right? But it's a big work, and if you're good at it, I always say you have to find. Maybe it sounds a little bit harsh in Russian way. But I'm saving you time. And I'm always asked the question, are you really good at what you do? Do you really love your job? Or perhaps you love something else and you're really good at something else?
I think Tanmay's question was about how people, like how girls in India, young girls who have never modeled, how do they get into modeling?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The question is,
But how
first
they
you need
can
to ask.
answer, how they
First,
can answer if they like this profession if they have never done that?
well, they have to first be, first they need to be able to see if they are fit to profile of modeling, because modeling has certain standards, and we all know, like it we are that or not, but modeling has certain standards. Yes, there is different directions, diversions and things like that, but they have certain standards. So that number one question which they should ask: do I fit to those standards? Then if the question is yes, they need to find a local agency in their own city, and if they have one, to be able to be presented in that agency, which will present them in international way, to send it their portfolio, create the portfolio, and send that portfolio to the New York, to Milan, to different international agencies with who they work. If they don't have the agency there, then what's the other very good way now is everything online, which is super easy. Every agency, big agency in the world, has their scouting division, right? And they have emails where you can actually send your portfolio. What is portfolio? It's the Polaroids, which you should do, your face. How to do Polaroids, you can Google it. It's super easy. You do your Polaroids, and then you perhaps find a photographer who perhaps will do a photo shoot of you in the way you move, stand, different positions, and video of you walking, moving, talking, which is also very important. So all that package which you create, you send it to the different agencies all over the world. And if you fit the standards, I'm sure you will get response. And then it's already a job of that agency who likes you to create the whole travel, the invitation, the visa, and all the job and the contract and everything to bring you in to do the castings and things like this. But you have to understand, and again, to all the young girls which want to be a model, this job is not an easy job. And you really have to want it and love it. And sometimes you go to the castings and you get rejected. And you can be rejected for years and then get the job. So I'm just saying, I've been rejected for a year. But I was keep going to the castings until I got the job. So you have to be mentally strong and believe that you will get the job.
Year is a long time.
Yeah, trust me, I know. I knock the doors. I work at
I
the
know
restaurant.
you know, and I know
wash
that
the
too.
dishes. I worked in Milan, washed the dishes. Worked as a waitress, but I was knocking those doors. You know. So it's something which you sometimes need to be ready for. And I'm not saying maybe you're lucky and you get the job right away. And hey, things may get differently for you, but there is a cases like mine which takes, and I know a lot of girls, a lot of my girlfriends who are still working now, they all started like me, and a year, no job. Nope, nothing. And then eventually, hop, here you go, you got the job, and everybody wants you. So it's very very different, a very unexpected, very exciting job. But you have to be strong. You have to be strong mentally, physically, always be ready, look great, beautiful, speak the language, be polite. There's a lot of things you need to be able to do to be able to be a model. So it's a very interesting, people thinking about model. Oh, I want to be on a magazine, but they don't exactly know what goes behind.
Yeah, maybe it took like 5 years or more.
Yeah, I mean, even like how to get to that magazine and how many hours you work on that picture. And sometimes one picture would take, in my time, because we had no digital, so sometimes one picture I had to stand in position without moving, because if I moved, we have to change the light for 2 hours with no moving. Can you stand for 2 hours not moving? I can.
I think we have covered so many topics and so many themes. Is there anything else you would add?
Oh no, we did so much. I've never talked so much in my life about myself. I can write a book now with all that. Oh my
Another
God.
one. Another
one. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes. Anybody want to ask questions? I can see some.
Anastasia, can you share where people can find you, how they can contact you if they want your modeling coaching, or if they want your health coaching, or if they want
they always
to hire
can
you
write
as a
me on my
private chef?
Instagram. My Instagram, I'm mostly, I don't use much other social media apart Instagram and Facebook. And you can always write me on Instagram. I usually answer in 3-4 hours.
Can you say what is your Instagram?
Oh, Anastasia Khozissova is the same as my Instagram is attached to my page. So
It's for the Spotify, so we will add.
Yeah, you can
the link.
Anastasia Khozissova as my name and my last name with double S.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I wish you more people who you grow and who actually get a change in their life thanks to your coaching. And I know it's very close to your heart to help one person at a time. So I wish you many, many people.
Thank you, my love. Thank you so much, and thanks to you all who've been listening, us and me and my crazy stories of fashion. And thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you. And so let's open the stage, and if anybody wants to come up and ask questions, then just raise your hand. We will bring you up. Ask your questions. So what is your plan for tonight? Because I know it's late in Moscow.
Well, actually, I have a meeting in 20 minutes, so that's going to be
only one question.
I have a meeting in the next 20 minutes, so
May I ask a question?
finish with you guys. Yes, go ahead, please.
In your bio, I had heard about private chef. So could you explain that and what you do as private chef and what all goes into it?
That's not exactly correct. What I do, I actually teach. A lot of families has private chefs, and most of the private chefs, unfortunately, doesn't know much of a healthy lifestyle. And the more families goes to, to understanding that this healthy lifestyle and healthy food is very important for their family, their kids. So what I do, I teach those chefs, I coach them to be able to perform for their families. As well as I create certain menus individually for people and the families with the recipes in order for them to cook at home. But I don't do any more private chef events. What I do sometimes in Moscow or Milan is I do special dinners, like a project dinners, but it's big dinners, like 100 people and more, in the restaurants. But that was before the COVID, and right now the COVID kind of moderate my direction of work, which is actually very good. I like it.
I have seen the video where you've been doing a special, it was called Sparkling Dinner, I think, in Milan.
Yes.
And you were gorgeous. I mean, you did the cooking and you organized how many people you organized and for so many guests. And then suddenly for dessert, you changed your outfit and you came with this amazing dress. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, because I have this format which I create. I wanted to create format because I always believe that food and fashion has to be together, right? I come from fashion and then I start doing food. So I wanted to be food and fashion together, and glamorous. And so I created that format and I call it Food and Fashion. Anastasia, Khozissova, Food and Fashion. And there was the first dinner, which we planned to do many, but then, as you know, things have changed. Well, it was very successful. We had a full restaurant and it was very good. We sold out. A lot of preparation. It was very nice. Yes, and I work as a proper chef, because I'm very particular. I cannot let other people. I always say, in order to do good, you have to do it yourself. I believe in teamwork, but I am control and control the things. I can't let others to do.
There has to be a leader.
Sure. Yeah, I'm particular on that, let's say. So with food specifically and taste, I think it's you can't just give recipes and say, okay, you cook these recipes and I will be there gorgeous standing in a dress. No, you can't. As a chef, you have to be on the kitchen. You have to do everything. You have to control. You have to taste everything. You have to make sure that you have to explain the people how to do things. And it was very interesting to work actually with Italian team, and they were great. It was fantastic. We had a little bit of a little Italian-Russian in the beginning, but then everything went fine. Stubborn me. I get it, what I want.
I know. Franklin, welcome. Do you have any question?
Hello, Franklin.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Anastasia, Laura, and Tommy. I have a quick question.
Yeah.
It's going to be a question before you were a model.
Yeah.
And the question is, when do you knew that you want to be a model?
I never knew I want to be a model.
Yes, it just came up?
I never knew. I went
it just
there.
Happened?
No, it just happened because I wanted to make money. Okay. I came, my family was not making so many money, and we had a difficult time sometimes, and I need to support, and I was working many jobs already that time. I started working when I was 13, and I wanted money. So I went there because they proposed me contract. It was $1,000. It was a lot of money that time, so I went for that. But when I got in Milan, then I realized I want to be a model.
So, quick question. So, you were, not exposed, but you were like close to the industry,
What do you mean?
or
When?
like I mean, because sometimes opportunities appears,
Yes.
because we get like close to
Because we get a
situations or
certain pain,
family friends.
a certain place and certain time. You mean
Correct.
because we get lucky? Yeah, I can say that because as I said before, my neighbor, she said, "Oh, there is a casting for a model agency, model school. Why don't you go try?" And that's when actually I started. That's how it started, you know. So basically, thanks to her, she pushed me to go to that casting, you know. And thanks to that guy who's the owner of that school, who created actually the school, Alex, who was there at that time smoking cigarettes, because probably if we would miss each other, I would never become. I don't know how would my life actually would be very interesting to see how my life would be. But I'm sure
Nice.
I would get
I like
somewhere
that.
else. I was very straightforward. I always knew one thing. I always knew that um, how do you say? I'm more. I don't know.
So
Does it make sense?
yes, absolutely. So
Yeah,
so this when all this happened, you decided to say yes. Basically, you decided to try it, and I think that's
exactly.
very powerful when
Not to
we
be
try
scared.
things.
Exactly.
Correct.
Not to be
Yes, I like
scared.
that.
And that's what I'm trying
So
to say. The mojo of this year, I think it should be don't be scared. Don't be
yes,
scared.
I love that, and then that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alexi,
Hello.
hi.
Hi. Is I want say thank you from this talks. It's very interesting and
Don't
many
worry.
information. I'm
Don't
sorry, it's
worry.
my English.
Don't worry. Yes.
I want my one question. I know you now is writing booking of health nutriology and
Uh-huh.
you, you want will be open of program of health from new models.
Where are you from, Alexi?
Россия.
Говорите по-русски.
Да, спасибо. Я просто понимаю по-английски, я просто плохо разговариваю, потому что мало практики за последние 2 года было, поэтому извините.
Ничего страшного. Говорите по-русски.
Нет, мы с вами, кстати, уже общались в Инстаграме. У меня просто немного есть другая аватарка и ник, поэтому похоже.
Ага, понятно. Так,
Нет,
вопрос.
да. И тогда то, что вы сейчас составляете именно питание, как бы, я хотела спросить по поводу...
Программы?
Именно программы, то есть специальная программа по поводу и питания, и вот как я помню, проект Life of Models, который вы вели, и вот программа специально для новичков, для новеньких моделей, чтобы вот, готовая программа, то, что они вот правильно могли готовиться к фэшн-викам, чтобы питание, чтобы и вот...
Ну да, это хорошее, конечно, да, действительно, мы думали уже об этом, и у меня есть такие кейсы, где девочек, ну, так, многие приходят
Anastasia,
и...
could
Yes, in English. So
you
basically,
translate
the
the
question is,
and then
yes,
answer in
the
English?
question is, would it be interesting for me to create programs for the young models where they can, when we can coach them in a halfway to get ready for fashion shows or to how to start a career and things like this? And the answer is yes, it is interesting, and I was thinking about it to create such a something like that, but the thing is that I do this personally most of the time, so it's not a group coaching, it's more individual coaching to those girls, and I have some girls who also sometimes go, because of the work, they go through depressions, which is also very happening, and unfortunately with health issues, because modeling could be very cruel, And people can be very cruel, and they can say to you that you are fat, and young girls get very upset and they stop eating or they're throwing up, and we all know what that leads to. So yes, there is a lot of those questions and directions, and I did the work like that before, and sometimes I do. But mostly right now I work with also women who are not models, who are moms, or women who work, and people who are interesting to be healthy and be able to cure themselves when they need to. So modeling, it's interesting, and yes, I have a huge knowledge about that, and eventually I hope we create something like that. But it's also another direction. And here we go again, as I was speaking before, if I'm going to put myself in every direction, I'm going to lose myself. So in order to not lose yourself, you need to focus. I choose 3 directions right now, which I'm going with, and then eventually other directions will come as a plus. If I answer to your question, Alexei. Я ответила на ваш вопрос? Alexei?
Something happened.
Yeah.
Ivan just got on the stage. Ivan, hi. Do you have a question to our guest?
Ivan.
No, I haven't questions. I come to listen, so it's interesting. Спасибо.
О,
Вот.
и
Да
вам
я
спасибо.
я просто, чтобы все слушали. Вот. Я просто с дороги, я сейчас на русском чуть-чуть расскажу. I speak some Russian because I'm not very good in English. В дороге нахожусь, еще мне звонят, все время вылетает, поэтому я половину пропустил.
Так.
Вот. Но в целом очень интересно. В начале еще самом по поводу этого, того, что в России нет культа здорового питания, да? Могу сказать следующее, что он в принципе есть, просто мы все очень любим вкусно всегда кушать, и мы забиваем на этот культ по большей части. Вот, хотя в Москве этот культ развивается просто семимильными шагами, и сейчас много всяких, и не только веганских кафешек, но и всяких доставок, где рационы и так далее. Вот, что я хотел бы заметить. А
Да,
так
но
просто
мы говорим, что healthy это не vegan.
послушать.
Vegan is not
Да.
vegan, it's not. I mean, вот это большая ошибка, когда люди говорят, что vegan это healthy.
Не, можно и во время поста как бы на пирожках с
Согласна.
картошкой как бы располнить по полной программе, конечно.
Вот,
да, согласен.
я про это и говорю, что vegan рознь.
Ну,
Да.
Could you please translate?
Sorry. So basically, I'm saying that he's coming back to what I was saying, that in Moscow there is not so many healthy food lifestyle, and he's saying that Russians love to eat, and I mean, the same as everywhere, I think Italians do love it to eat too. And he's saying that there is a lot of now healthy places and vegan. And I'm saying that vegan is not so healthy, also could be, because you can get very unhealthy with vegan diet. So it depends of what kind of vegan you are, which is also another topic you should be careful with, that vegan direction, because for some people it could work, for some people it could not. It could actually cause problems to health, and not right direction with vegan, not knowing the vegan could also cause a lot of problems.
In specific anemic people, right?
Not just that. It's in a lot of things, and for women it could be hormonal disbalance. It could be problem with hair, nails, and skin. It's a lot of different directions, and a lot of young people going to vegan thinking that it's healthy, or the choice of animal cruelty. Okay. But eating one salad, when I ask what do you eat, and they say, I eat salad. Well, salad is not enough. It's not enough macronutrients. You need to be able to have a different type of food, and vegan deprioritized food, the way you prepare this food, and you have to have a lot of extra nutrition, extra vitamins and minerals which you take. I study raw vegan, I study vegan, I was vegan myself. I used to live in Los Angeles. I know a lot of vegan people, and I know their closets, and their closets are full of vitamins, and they take about sometimes 20, 30 vitamins and protein shakes and this and that, and it's very different compared to here. And also being vegan in Russia during winter, it's not an easy moment too.
Yeah, maybe if you live more in a tropical country where you have fruits and nuts.
It's just like, it's also a question of vitamin D. It's a question of the omega. It's a lot of things. So quality of food. It depends on a lot of places. So also
come to India. We have a lot of delicacies for you if you want to truly be vegetarian or vegan.
I'm sorry. Come to where? I didn't hear it.
India, come to India.
Oh yes, I was thinking that I might go in April, but then now today my trip is canceled. We were planning to come to India in April, but now it's moved, and I am actually got some masterclass about Indian cuisine, which I have to look now and study at masterclass. I love that site, by the way. It has a lot of good masterclasses. It's not a problem. I just love that place, and I studied there a lot with the different chefs, and I also got the book. So I'm actually getting to that directions, getting to. But in order to learn that cuisine, and I think in order to understand the spices and the mixer and how to do all the things, I think you need to be there. You need to come to India and actually try everything to understand what is real taste of everything. So, but thank you. I will. Eventually I will. Yes.
You're most welcome. There is so much variety. You will get to know there is so much variety in vegetarian food when you come to India.
Yeah. Yes, I know. And I think, it's also very healthy in a certain way, because there's a lot of anti-inflammation, and a lot of spices actually help to heal. And I mean, Ayurveda come from that direction, right? Am I right?
Yes.
Tanmay.
What direction? Yeah? I didn't get your question.
Ayurveda. Yes. So it's one of the biggest teachings. I've studied that in school too, but I think I'm not enough. It was general, and I think you need more to it. So in order to go, I need to get another year of Ayurveda, but maybe that will be my direction to go to India and study that.
Live life and learn, right?
Yes, totally. So, Ivan, did I answer your question? Я ответила на ваш вопрос? Я не знаю. Иван? Вы там еще или вы пропали опять?
I'm here.
Я ответила на ваш вопрос по поводу вегана и так далее.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
I had a question regarding food eating disorder. Like, many girls have become so self-conscious about looks. They start developing this eating disorders, and they eat and they puke it out, and there are so many things in that. What would you suggest them, or first about food and about being conscious about looks?
You can't give suggestions. This is a very complicated and long way of healing, and here you need a specialist. In certain cases, it's doctors. I'm not a doctor, so that have to be very clearly to understand. It's a psychological problem. You have to look at issues in many different directions, and in some cases it's super easy to heal, in some cases it's not. So you can't give suggestions. I think suggestions for any problems which you have to ask for help. You have to learn how to ask for help. Whatever problem is happening to you, you're not alone in this world. Even if you think sometimes that you're alone in this world, you are not. You have so many people around you. And sometimes when you ask for help, a person who you doesn't even know help you out. And it become one of the key person. But if you don't reach out, if you don't ask for it, or you don't give your hand to help, ask for help, then how people will know that you're looking for one?
Absolutely. So reach out.
So the first step is ask for help, and then things will come.
Anastasia, how would you define beauty? It's a little philosophical question, but what is beauty for you?
Everything. It's very interesting. I always find the beauty, or try to find the beauty in everything and everywhere, even if it is the most unpleasant or uncorrected or whatever it is situation or place. It's hard sometimes, but I think I would say find something good in it, make it bigger. Life would be easier.
And talking about appearance and looks, that kind of beauty, what do you say? People are born in certain way, but they want to cosmetically change. They want how they are looking. So what do you think about
choice,
that?
It's their choice. Whatever people want to do themselves is their choice. It's the same if they want to eat burger and fries 24 hours and then get sick and die. So it's choice again. We're the one who make the choice. So actions equals results. So whatever action you do, you get the results. So whatever results you want to get, you do the action. It's very simple. Action equals result.
This is very Russian attitude.
Yeah, but it works, Laura. It works. It really
Tell
does.
me more. I am like this. I understand that.
It works, and it's just, we tend to complicate things. We tend to complicate everything around us.
Or find excuses.
Or find excuses. Or we're scared. Or just take things as they are and don't think too much. And if you want something, ask for it. If you don't like something, say it. Don't keep it.
Or if you like
politely,
it, say it.
If you like it, say it. And I say, okay, I don't like this, but politely. Try to also respect the community and society you live in with. But don't pretend, because most of the time we lie to ourselves. And then we lie to others, and then we lie to everyone, and then in this lie we keep going, and then we're losing ourselves. We don't even know who we are anymore.
Anastasia, thank you so much for
sharing. So much material to cut.
No.
It shorter.
No.
2 hours. Oh my God.
Don't be so critical. No.
Guys, whoever stick with us for 2 hours, my God.
Deserves
troopers. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
I hope everyone got something from this moment and whatever. And they hear what they want to hear.
And Anastasia, thank you so much for sharing with us your journey, your experience, your knowledge, because the knowledge came out of so many years in different fields. And thank you. And my wish to you is to bring more people with your example, because you are an example. So may you have many people who follow you.
I'm shy. It's okay. Let's take it slow. Thank you so much. And I hope we will chat again eventually and some days on some different topics. Okay?
Exactly. Okay.
Big kiss. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening in. Do connect with us on Twitter and Instagram for updates of new shows and to participate with us. All the links have been mentioned in the show notes. Another thing, we have got some amazing NFTs for you. I have a collection of 3D animated abstract and figurative NFTs. If you want to have an immersive experience of my artworks, I would insist you to visit my virtual gallery. Laura's collection is a fusion of fashion and art NFTs inspired from her own fashion shows and her unique art style. If you want to know how to buy your NFT or if you want to know how to create one, do get in touch. Cheers!